Yo, what up, everybody? They tortured lamb. Some stupid shit. How am I? I'm just fine. Just fine. Alright, let's see the stupid shit Greg posted here first.
Starts burning and I feel uncomfortable. I think that's not good for you.
No, you
should put the weight down at that point.
And physiological anatomical rationale that we've known for like 100 years.
What are you talking about?
Science-based lifting is a scam. Coach Greg, in today's video, it keeps getting worse for Mike Israetel. I mean, Mr. Mike. And it's not only Mr. Mike, it's also Jeff Nipah. Program switcher, data glitcher. And so science-based lifting is essentially dead. It's gone. It was fun while it lasted. It was cool. You know, keeping 3 reps in reserve, doing all these bullshit exercises that you know are not working. And so in today's video, we're going to show again what Dorian Yates is saying about this, as well as bro science lifter Don Mazzetti. Dorian Yates, it's in full force. I'm happy to see he's joined essentially everybody else.
Turned 29 today. Well, congratulations. You avoided the Reaper for another year.
Except for the circle jerk-offs.
Reps in reserved. We've got a different term for that in England. It's called a wanker's workout.
In Canada, United States, we say, you know, you train like a pussy. You train like a kitty cat. And so what science-based lifting has actually done is tried to convince people, you know, guys like Jeff Nipah, that you don't have to actually train hard, that training easy, it works better than training hard, that Dorian Yates and Mike Menser, that they got it wrong, that it wasn't about how much you put in that you got out, but that if you just hold back, especially if you're natural, you'll make significantly more gains, you know, so long as you buy their program.
The reps in reserve concept is fine. It works. I made a whole video on this. Greg just misrepresents what the recommendation is. You have the reps in reserve target at the beginning of a meso, and then you just add weight or reps, and you don't care about reps in reserve afterwards. It's just for the first week of the beginning of a new meso.
Yes, because Palestinians would never do such a thing like that to animals. Like that time they gutted that endangered whale shark alive. No, that was not animal cruelty at all. Sarcasm BTW.
Yeah, it's fucking retarded. We'll watch that video later. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Periodize it accordingly, and
Dodo, $22 VG. Polls closed in New York City 23 minutes ago. Zoran Mamdani is winning by a lot, but it's mostly early vote counted so far, I think, and I saw his lead is shrinking, so we'll see. Well, fingers crossed. We'll see. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
mostly train easy, and then once you do train hard, you got to take a deload week, because, you know, that's how you grow based on science. The science of which uses 8-week studies with soccer moms and says that this is the best way to grow. If you're a soccer mom, by all means, your first day in the gym, you don't need to train hard. You just show up. Everybody already knows that.
I don't like it when like the muscle starts burning and I feel uncomfortable. I think that's not good for you. No, you want. Should put the weight down on that.
Hakeem Jeffries is gonna have to change his name to Hashim Al-Jihads pretty soon at this rate.
Yeah. I think they all are. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Point.
Of course, the closer you get to failure and or beyond, the more your muscles are going to burn, the harder it gets, and you want to stop. Your body is telling you, hey, that's enough. You get that lactic acid, the burn, and so you stop. But those of you who don't stop and you keep going, you know, the real men of the world who are actually training hard, those are the ones who are going to get the most gains. And so I don't care if it's talking about lifting weights or doing cardio, racing bikes, sprinting up a hill, studying, those who can suffer more, who can
Dodo donate $2. Can you change the stream title to say Mamdani News? It's funny. No, just because I don't think it's going to be the primary focus of the stream. Yeah, that's basically what it is. Cuomo is endorsed by President Trump, Elon Musk, Bill Ackman, Michael Bloomberg, Bill Clinton. Mamdani is endorsed by ISIS and the terrorists who said America deserved 9/11. Yeah. That's a great sign. Vote for him. Jeez, people are stupid.
In the locker room, I turn around and there's a man there. In boy clothes, lip gloss, standing there looking at me. I'm butt naked. So the first thing I think is maybe there's a worker in here. Maybe I missed a sign.
Greg should upload a video of him going beyond failure on deadlifts. Fucking moron.
Well, there's a lot of compound lifts that you really don't want to either go to failure or, you know, like the beyond failure. So, like, deadlifts are certainly one of them. Squats, that's definitely something you're pretty much always going to have a rep in reserve on.
The Clintons have ironically become one of the only voices of reason in the Democratic Party at this time.
Yeah. They're kind of crazy immoral jackasses, but they actually do know how to run a country. I'll look at those links in a second. Thanks for the donation, Dodo. Bench is fairly safe so long as you have safety pins, but it's still a pain in the ass to, like, have to pick up the bar off the safety pins. So, yeah, I mean, you're naturally going to have a lot of lifts where you have, like, a rep in reserve or something. Thanks for the donation, though, Yoshi.
The word sir to say, sir, what are you doing in here? He goes, don't fucking talk to me. I'm a woman. I have a right to be in here. Immediately, I'm fucking pissed because I'm butt naked. Women feel I think it's okay.
Yeah, whatever. Great.
Does not support me. The president opposes Zoran Mandami. The president believes Zoran Mandami is a communist. He believes he's an existential threat. I believe he's a socialist and an existential threat. And
these people aren't socialists. They're just fucking communists.
not a dress-up socialist, right? Their school of socialism, this Democratic Socialists of America, government controls the means of production. No private ownership of real estate, abolish jails, decriminalize prostitution. This is frightening stuff. President.
His stance on the police, and the, what is it, like the free housing or whatever, like those are the two stupidest things he's said for sure. Let me see. ISIS just released a statement calling today's planned attacks Operation Manhattan Project, celebrating 9/11. Yeah. Globalize the Intifada. It's fucking insane.
In 1931, when Japan attacks Manchuria, Japan commandeers the Chinese Eastern Railway, which was supposed to be under Russia's purview. And the people in the Politburo are telling Stalin, look, we gotta be aggressive against this. And Stalin says, look, I don't want to raise tensions against another great power. Let's just let this slide. Let's keep tensions low. And this is actually quite similar to what happens with splitting up Poland in 1939 and then Barbarossa, where in this case, that actually did lead to a war. But this idea that we'll keep tensions low, I won't plan for Operation Barbarossa.
Hitler comes to power in 1933. Stalin knows that that is the main problem. He sells the Chinese Eastern Railway to Japan in 1935. It's like, make that problem go away for now, monetize it, get the Japanese to give you some money for it, and we're just not going to worry about Manchuria right now because we have Nazis to worry about.
The bigger point was that in both theaters, he makes this calculation that I'm going to let certain things slide so that I don't have to face off against this great powers on my border. I don't want to go to war with them.
Right.
In the case of Japan, it works because Japan decides to attack China and not Russia. In the case of, obviously, Germany, it doesn't.
Oh, yeah. In Germany, he's trying to run the same script, and he thinks that this is going to work for him. But that's what the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact is about. And not remotely. He needed to read Mein Kampf.
Right.
Hitler literally called Slavics like subhuman. That's kind of neat. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Out of all the Democrats, it's surprising that the Clintons are the only ones who know how to run a country. It kinda makes me sad that Hillary didn't win the 2016 election.
Yeah, and it didn't really work out like I'd hoped, where they'd just run a more likable, viable candidate. Guess they did run Biden. But yeah, probably we would be living in a better future if Clinton had won. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Can put themselves into more uncomfortable positions, those are the ones that are going to gain the most. And so there lies the name of my brand. Harder than last time. Not 3 more reps in reserve than last time. Not easier than last time. Not go until it starts to become...
If you're training with reps in reserve, you still train harder than last time.
I'm uncomfortable. Harder than last time.
Who wants to be uncomfortable? It can't be good for you, can it? No.
That clearly doesn't work.
Reps in reserve.
Let's compare Mike Mentzer's physique, who looks a lot more like Coach Greg than Mike Isertel. Now, remember, I'm not anywhere near Mike Mentzer's level, but I do believe I look closer to Mike Mentzer than Mike Isertel, and I'm not just talking about the hair on my head and my mustache. At least I have an IFBB Pro card. Mike Isertel does not. Mike Isertel had surgeries to remove the 20 pounds of body water in order to try and get his pro card in the Masters division in his next competition. Let's examine the photo that Mike Isertel just posted to see, does this look like Mike is healthy? Should Mike not just throw in the towel and take the L and give up and say, guys, I was wrong. I'm way less impressive than Mike Mentzer. I shouldn't have gone for my pro card, and I'm getting off the steroids. I mean, look what it's done to my head. Guys, why does my jaw do this? Is there something wrong with me? Mike, yes.
So, I'm pretty sure... most of that is a muscle. I'm pretty sure that's what you're seeing primarily. I don't know what dosages of growth hormone he's running. Usually with growth hormone, you hear people have like their feet grow or their hands grow. That's the most common site where you end up having growth of any of the like bones or anything. And a lot of the time it's not uniform. So you might have like one toe grow larger than another. But this is probably the muscle in his head, like the jaw muscle, that's just hypertrophied from the steroids he's on. I don't know why this is necessarily a problem. Like, you do have muscles on your head, and if you're taking anabolic androgenic steroids, then yeah, all the muscles of your body can hypertrophy, even some of the weird muscles, like of your jaw. I know some people think this is like a bone that's grown with growth hormone. I'm pretty sure that's the jaw muscle that just runs along the side of your head. But again, I don't know why that's an indication of a problem. Pokey, Pixel donate $2, heard you like brain rot cancer.
Hermione Granger, for the correct use of they-them pronouns while addressing the multi-gendered dog known as Fluffy, 50 points. Second, to Mr. Ronald Weasley, for the best gender reassignment spell that Hogwarts has seen these many years, whose newly discovered spell, Removus Dickus, will now be compulsory learning for all students aged 11 and up. 50 points. And third, to Mr. Harry Potter, for pure nerve and outstanding courage in coming out of the closet, I award Gryffindor House 69 points. I look forward.
All right. Yeah, that is kind of true.
Waste settlement by asking to combat plastic waste by 80% and saves customers up to...
Fuck!
Isn't a waste
That's pretty cool. Thanks for the donation, PokePixel.
Guys, why does my jaw do this? Is there something wrong with me? Mike, yes, there's something wrong with you. Now, as far as the jaw things...
Also Mom Donnie wants to crimony% and this is coming from a guy with Middle Eastern heritage, an area that's full of whorehouses.
Yeah, I think he would take advantage of that personally. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Doing, that's perhaps your anger upon knowing that you're never going to reach your IPB Pro card. And what you're doing is you're biting, like you're going like this. Let's now pay attention to your head. What exactly is going on? Does anyone see some enhanced bone growth going on? This is known as acromegaly or giganticism and is a result of abusive levels of growth hormone. And so
probably not. Again, that lump on his head, he seems to have always had that. He had hair before, so it's hard to tell exactly what his head shape was. They've been uploading for a while, haven't they? Yeah, 13 years ago. Some bullshit here. So this ought to be a fairly good gauge. So this was 8 years ago. He still had that thing. Like, it doesn't look like his head changed at all. So Yeah, 8 years ago. Like these other ones, he has hair 7 years ago. So it's a little harder to tell, but he always had that thing. So I'm assuming that's just the muscle on his head that grew. And it's also like a weird angle too. So yeah, this is probably the jaw muscle up here that's hypertrophied. And he's just angling the camera at a funny angle, and it just ended up looking weirder than it really is. But you can just see a normal video, and it's like, pretty normalish head shape. You can see open pro bodybuilders taking monstrous doses of growth hormone, like about 30 IUs per day. They don't have bone growth in their head. It just doesn't do that. I don't even know if there's any research on growth hormone use and acromegaly. I don't know if exogenous growth hormone can even do that. It definitely happens with people with that pituitary tumor, where they like overproduce growth hormone like crazy, like naturally. I don't even know if you can induce acromegaly with exogenous growth hormone. I've never seen any research on it. And again, very large doses of growth hormone are used clinically to treat certain diseases and conditions. HIV/AIDS patients, they're given 18 IUs of growth hormone per day, which is far more than what most open pro bodybuilders are taking. Dorian Yates was only taking, I think, 8 to 10 IUs of growth hormone per day. And I mean, Dorian Yates is like one of the most massive bodybuilders fucking ever. So this guy was taking literally less than half the dose of what AIDS patients are prescribed. Children with stunted growth, I think they're given at least 20 IUs of growth hormone per day. So again, he's taking half of what children are prescribed. So Mike Israetel has money. I'm sure he can afford, 20 IUs plus of growth hormone if he really wanted. But most people can't tolerate a dose that high. They're going to get really bad peripheral edema, and it's going to cause pinched nerves, particularly around the shoulders and hands, and it's really unpleasant. I actually had that yesterday, and it wasn't really from the growth hormone. I had Chinese food for Isaac's birthday, and it caused a fuck ton of water retention. I'm on not only growth hormone, but like testosterone, boldenone. It raises aldosterone, and it triggers the angiotensin pathway, which makes you retain more sodium than normal. So if you have like a really, really high sodium meal, like I had 2 days ago with the Chinese food, you can end up having more severe peripheral edema than you'd normally have. Last night, I was getting that, where I had peripheral edema, and it was so bad it was actually pinching nerves in my shoulders, and I could feel it running down my arm. Usually with really high doses of growth hormone like that, when you're talking about like 20 IUs, most people can't even tolerate a daily dose that high. So in all likelihood, if I had to guess, Mike is probably, I have no idea what he's actually taking, but again, he's probably taking around maybe 10 IUs. There's just no fucking chance he would get acromegaly from that dose. Children and AIDS patients are prescribed double that fucking dose, and they're not getting acromegaly. I don't even know if it's possible to induce acromegaly with exogenous growth hormone. I know that's something that happens with pituitary tumors, But I don't even know if it's possible with, you know, like the actual drug. Watch this clip, donate $2, Mentee's Hell, watch from 5312 to 107, please. You didn't give me a link. If you give me a link, I can watch. Thanks for the donation, dude.
What we're seeing, if you want to sound smart, you know, like how Mike Israetel would talk, you use big words, people think you're smart, is temporalis muscle hypertrophy with cranial bone acromegaly, which is the growth of the bones. And so it's about the bones. Mike Israetel is on so much growth hormone that it's causing his bones to get bigger, to expand. This is not good. This is not healthy. And oftentimes when people abuse growth hormone, they're
Again, there are a ton of open pro bodybuilders taking high doses of growth hormone, and you don't see that.
also abusing insulin. Also not good. And Mike, remember he made that video promoting...
I don't know why he's saying abusing insulin. What dose of insulin is he taking? Why is he taking it? And why would that dose be considered abusive? A lot of pro bodybuilders, they have to take insulin or else they will have constantly elevated high blood glucose. So if you're taking insulin so that you're not like, you don't have diabetic levels of blood sugar, why would it be abusive to take insulin?
MK677, and what he forgets is that this can cause type 2 diabetes. This is also not good. Mike also uses performance-enhancing drugs, which can make him feel only rage. Let's add to this list. He had higher blood pressure and had to take...
Watch this clip, donate $2, sorry, the link. Let me see. I don't know if this is really... 53... 12.
John, hang up the goddamn phone, you stupid motherfucker. Hang up the goddamn phone now, you fucking faggot ass motherfucker. I don't know what your fucking deal is, John, but you need to leave me the fuck alone, goddammit. I want nothing to do with you, John. Nothing. I am trying to get away from you. So why can't you leave me the fuck alone, John? Huh? Answer me! Answer me, motherfucker! Why can't you leave me alone, huh? Huh? Why can't you leave me alone? I ain't done shit to you. You need to leave me and my friends the fuck alone. I ain't done shit to you, you bastard. You need to fuck off and leave, because I ain't done shit. You're looking to do with you, William, or any of you. I know what you're trying to do. I'm not dumb, you pussy-ass little bitch.
I'm not doing anything.
Shut the fuck up.
He's in trouble. Stop killing
Shut
people. Stop murdering people like my brother.
White ass porch, you. Huh? Why? Is it because of money? Is it because you just are that obsessed with me? What's the deal? Why can't you leave me and my friends alone, man?
Let's hear it, John.
I'm not doing anything to you, pussy ass motherfucker.
The reason why I'm doing it is because I hate you. It's because
you and William and all you do right now that you
shut up, property. Probably don't want to be.
That is not funny. That was very boring. I'm amazed you think I'd watch 15 minutes of that. Thanks for the donation, dude. Dodo donate $2, it's over, VG. It's Ron Mamdani, 34-year-old state lawmaker from Queensbury, New York. First Muslim to lead the city. Yeah, well, figured. Well, New Yorkers are stupid, dude, so what do you expect? They'll get everything they ask for and more.
The next and last stop is City Hall.
I'm sure China and Iran and Russia and Code Pink are happy. Yep. And ISIS. Don't forget ISIS. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
telmisartan, and I do believe a different blood pressure medication, I forget which one, which allowed his blood pressure to get back to normal. But that's known as polypharmacy, when you have to take multiple different drugs to combat using a single drug. You're on.
Blood pressure medications are at like what, the 5th or 6th generation. They basically have 0 side effects, and they only give you the benefit of having lower blood pressure. They also have ancillary benefits as well. They can help protect your kidneys, ARBs specifically. They're also good for preventing maladaptive cardiomyopathy or left ventricular hypertrophy. Some people are just genetically prone to that, even without steroids. So, and they can also prevent elevated hematocrit. So they can prevent, you know, issues arising like blood clotting. So if they only have benefits and no side effects, what is the issue with taking blood pressure meds? Plenty of people have to take blood pressure meds who aren't on steroids. And it's not just people with like an unhealthy lifestyle who are overweight. Some people just naturally have high blood pressure. So what's the issue?
Yep, glad I got out of New York when I did. Granted, I lived in Buffalo, NY, so it probably would not have affected me as much.
Well, better to be safe than sorry anyway. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
On so many drugs because you take this drug, you need that drug as a downplay to side effects. You take this drug, you take that drug, and essentially you're on 10 drugs or more. Remember when Mike said he had more willpower than almost anyone? Why does he then need to take a GLP? Is he on retatrutide or is he on terzipatide? But when you're taking medications to reduce your appetite because you can't stick to your diet, that means you don't have a lot of willpower. Now, if you don't have all that willpower and you can admit it.
In Mike Israel's case, that is definitely true. There's benefits to taking GLP-1 agonists, even if you can stick to a diet just fine. Retatrutide specifically can prevent what is it? Hypoglycemia. So if you're dieting, especially if you're on a really strict diet and trying to get really lean, you can go hypoglycemic and get dizzy, not have much energy. Retatrutide can help prevent that. So you have more energy, you can train harder, you can function more normally. So even if you can stick to a diet just fine, why not take retatrutide if it, you know, prevents some of those like issues with dieting?
You can go to AlgoRx, you can purchase Ozempic, you can purchase terzipatide. You can
Yes, buy the drug from a source that is far more fucking expensive. That makes sense.
get blood work to see exactly how healthy you really are. And if you're not healthy, well, maybe you can lower your doses. Maybe you need telmisartan.
Dude, I think he's a part owner in AlgoRx right now. That fucking company is a fucking scam. And not a scam in the way that, like, they're not giving you a service that they're, you know, reporting to give you. It's a scam in the way that it's clearly price gouging people. They don't list any prices on their website, and that's a dead giveaway that it's, like, ridiculously expensive. So, if you're not a fucking retard, why wouldn't you just source these drugs for cheaper? Like especially if you live in Canada. Most of your blood work is going to be covered for free through OHIP. So, like, it's just fucking stupid to go through, you know, one of these online clinics and pay out of pocket when you can do the shit for fucking free.
Maybe you need to cycle off, or maybe you have low testosterone levels. Do you need enclomiphene? Do you need HRT? And so, depending on what you need, you can get a doctor to prescribe you prescription medications for cheaper than last time. If you compare them to Merrick Health, please compare them to Merrick Health and then thank me later when you save thousands of dollars. Click the link in the description, code Greg.
Yeah, you can save hundreds, if not thousands of more dollars by not clicking the link in the description and just sourcing these drugs yourself.
10% off to get all your pharmaceutical needs. And so what I find interesting is there's 1,000 comments about this post and people aren't concerned. Shouldn't every post be saying, you know, go to the doctor, this isn't healthy, you're not...
It's unhealthy to have a large muscle, like a large jaw muscle. Like, this is just fucking retarded.
Natural, perhaps you need to lower the doses. It's as if they're coming to see the accident, the car crash. They cannot look away. Guys, I'm telling you, you should in fact look away. Let's now check out.
Like, of all indicators of poor health, Mike Israetel had swelling at the tips of his fingers, which is a sign of like a number of problems. It can be a sign of like kidney damage and shit. He's talked about the mental health issues from steroids, where he's just in such a shitty mood all day. All he feels is rage. Like, that would be an indicator that he should either lower the dosages he's on, or maybe choose different drugs, or just not do any of this crap at all. He sees a video of Mike with large jaw muscles, and that is what's worrying. Having large jaw muscles. Like, Greg is just such a fucking idiot. It's out of this world fucking stupid. It's like, oh, Vegan Gains, his arms are too big. Oh, you better stop. Like, why?
Out Don Mazzetti. And so I'm going to react to Don Mazzetti reacting to Mike Israetel reacting to Don Mazzetti. This is just a Tuesday for me, guys.
One study at a time says almost nothing. All the studies together and physiological anatomical rationale that we've known for like 100 years.
What Kirk talking about? Do you know what more of nothing is? More of nothing is nothing. You can check that out, Mr. Mike, with ChatGPT. Nothing plus nothing equals nothing. More famously, as Dorian put it,
a bag of shit that gets bigger is just a bigger bag of shit.
And so if you have a bunch of bullshit studies added together, it's more bullshit. It's a bigger pile of bullshit. And so if you take a bunch of soccer mom studies and you pile them up, you've got a bigger pile of shit.
I'm Don Mazzetti, professor of exercise and just doing it. I got an LSD in recreational drugs, competitive at everything.
I mean, he's got an LSD in recreational drugs and he just does it. And so there it is. That is just as good as Mike Israetel's PhD. I mean, Mr. Mike had over 200 mistakes in that PhD. Mr. Mazzetti, I didn't see a PhD. And so by not writing it, he actually did better than Mike. Mike would have been smarter for not having written that PhD thesis.
I still nut every time I hear those gunshots.
Pause it right there. Science-based lifting is a scam. Would prove it. And so he didn't get the pro card, and so proved that it wasn't.
Science-based lifting is a scam to get you to do more science and less lifting. The whole reason we started lifting is because we were bullied for being nerds.
Facts.
And so notice, Mike just responds with facts. Happen. I don't care. But all.
Okay, this is just a waste of time. Okay, let's watch Greg's really retarded video.
We're starting
dumb
at.
Fuck promotes. So, Greg, for the last week or so, has been trying to promote enclomiphene for some reason. And it's kind of inexplicable. What I have noticed is I think he's become a part owner in that Algo RX online TRT thing. And I don't know if his business partners are telling him to promote enclomiphene. Like, he clearly doesn't know anything about the drug because he's never taken it before. And he's obviously too lazy to do any research on it. And he's also a cynical jackass who only cares about money and doesn't really care if he hurts anybody. So just inexplicably, out of nowhere, starts promoting enclomiphene. So, for those of you who don't know, enclomiphene is a SERM. It's a selective estrogen receptor modulator. And basically what it does is it just stimulates your pituitary gland to produce more testosterone endogenously. So you could kind of consider it as a pro-hormone to testosterone. So you should ask yourself, why would I take another drug to boost testosterone when I could just take testosterone? Presumably, you would kind of expect this. You're probably going to experience more side effects taking like a drug that acts as a pro-hormone than just taking the actual hormone. And sure enough, that is the case. There's a lot of weird side effects that come with enclomiphene that are kind of par for the course with any SERM. Selective estrogen receptor modulators can affect your mood pretty severely.
Greg should Houndsley be banned from YouTube for promoting harmful drugs.
He should be banned from YouTube for just being a fucking lying jackass. That's what he should really be banned for. Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo. Like, it's one thing to spread misinformation, but it's one thing to be a cynical jackass who, like, deliberately lies on camera for, like, cynical reasons just to make money. Like, that's what really irks me about Greg. It's fine to be wrong about things and share an opinion, but your opinion's wrong. Greg deliberately fucking lies and knowingly lies and promotes a more harmful, dangerous drug.
Frank has been screwed by Paul Saladino, Google, TikTok, Jake Levy, Chargebackers, GoFundMe, Shopify, roofers, always forwarding, refrigerator companies, insurance companies, Santa Cruz Medicinal, the police, Dr. Taban, lawyers, Alibaba, and the Amish.
Well, hopefully we can keep that going. He deserves it. Thanks for the donation, Blackberry. So, like I was saying, enclomiphene being a SERM, it has side effects that are kind of typical of most SERMs. So, it does cause, it is associated with mood disturbances. Obviously, like, not everybody is going to experience every side effect, but a lot of SERMs affect mood, and estrogen does have a pretty potent effect on mood. So if you're affecting estrogen receptors in your body, it can affect your mood. A lot of the mood disorders include anxiety and depression. They can also cause like lethargy, dizziness, confusion, like brain fog. You just can't really think clearly. Whereas with testosterone, it's literally the opposite. You feel more energetic. You feel more positive. You just feel like you function better. Gives you more energy. And one of the big, really, really big worries with enclomiphene is it's a SERM. So that means it affects estrogen throughout your entire body, including your eyeballs. So enclomiphene can reduce estrogen inside of your eyeballs, and estrogen acts kind of like an antioxidant. It helps protect your body from damage. It helps to repair tissue. So if you reduce estrogen in your eyeballs, that could potentially contribute to ocular degeneration, can increase the risk of cataracts and blindness. And sure enough, yes, prolonged enclomiphene use is actually associated with ocular degeneration. Some of the more severe side effects of enclomiphene with ocular degeneration is blind spots in your eyeballs, and it can damage your optic nerve. So Greg is promoting a drug that can literally cause people to go blind. You can end up having a blind spot in the middle of your fucking vision, and you won't be able to fucking see properly. if you use enclomiphene, you know, in the context of like a TRT replacement, presumably you're going to be on this long term, and you can go fucking blind. So why is he promoting a drug that acts as a pro-hormone to testosterone that can make you go blind when you could just take testosterone? And it also isn't associated with all the other side effects, like the mood disturbances. So, this guy, I have no idea why he's promoting enclomiphene. I can only assume it has something to do with his relationship with that online TRT thing company. It's just kind of inexplicable how he just suddenly started promoting this. 21st, donate $2. Yep. Let me see. Liberal women in New York City this November. I bring Islam and Sharia, but we still get to keep our rights, right? Yeah. You're a retarded N-word, true fact. Okay, well, thanks for the donation, 21st. At least I didn't vote for Mamdani.
Victory. Zoran has won. Hope has been restored to our beloved city, and not fallen to fucking Zeos. His victory will be a great example of affordability, balance and justice. History has been made, never been so proud of my city. Thank you, people of New York.
I can guarantee you two things are going to happen. Crime rates are going to go up, and a lot of the more wealthy, productive people are just going to leave the city. And they're going to have issues getting tax revenue, and you're going to see more budget cuts. So, yeah, everybody is going to be more broke and poor, and there's going to be more crime. So, win-win. Thanks for the donation, Ton.
I want you to take 250 milligrams a week. We'll add into that telmisartan. Don't worry about the blood pressure, telmisartan. And let's throw in some Cialis. Oh, and may as well take some HCG. And why not? Let's just throw in some enclomiphene while we're at it. When the person on the phone from a TRT clinic gets a percentage of sales, do you really think that your best interest is in mind? Coach Greg, and in today's video, TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, or enclomiphene, or should you be using none at all? Dr. Pediatia is going to speak with Chris Williamson about exactly this.
One of the other things that's been happening a lot recently is the rise in TRT usage among young men, maybe in part due
This, the way they're approaching this topic is fucking retarded, by the way. Nice try. So, there's been a reduction in testosterone among men. And it's pretty severe. We're at a point now where your average man in their early to mid 20s has about the same testosterone as your average man in their 70s. So a 70-year-old man has about the same testosterone as a man, you know, between the age of about 20 to 25. Is it any wonder why more young men are going on TRT? Well, like, again, presumably, people are taking a drug to compensate for some kind of problem they have, right? So, if the problem is low testosterone, you would expect more men to be on testosterone. Sort of like if a lot of people had high blood pressure issues, you'd see a lot more people on blood pressure meds. Or if a lot of men had erectile dysfunction, you'll see sales of Cialis go up. Or, like these GLP-1 agonist drugs like Ozempic. So many people are overweight and struggle with weight loss. Is it any surprise there is this demand for GLP-1 agonists for weight loss? So, what is the concern here? The drug fixes the problem. So if people, like more people have a problem, you would expect if a drug exists to resolve that problem, more people would be on that drug. So this whole fucking narrative that they're trying to peddle here, oh, men are going on testosterone for no reason. Right. Testosterone levels are declining at a massive fucking rate, and it's at a point where your average 20-something-year-old has the fucking testosterone as a fucking retiree in their 70s. No surprise, more men are on testosterone replacement therapy. Fucking retarded.
Due to hoping to elevate their mood to improve the way that they feel.
Here's the thing. Young men typically are using these in very, very high doses. When people say TRT, it means testosterone replacement therapy. The problem is people are using them in super physiological doses. And what does that mean? Well, it means that essentially they're taking twice the amount that they should be taking. What we see right now, especially on social media, is young men claiming they're on TRT when they're actually on super physiological doses. One of the most prevalent cases was when Alex Eubank went on testosterone replacement, perhaps at 200 milligrams a week, but soon discovered that his testosterone was 1,500 nanograms per deciliter. And so, in case you don't know how high that is, mine, and I'm on HRT, 140 milligrams a week, mine is in the 700s and 800s at best.
200 tests.
So everything Greg said is completely and utterly fucking retarded, and he has no fucking clue what he's talking about. So the goal of TRT is to resolve symptoms of androgen deficiency. Keyword there being symptoms of androgen deficiency. So that can include a wide range of problems that could be related to mood. So depression, anxiety, lack of motivation. It could be erectile dysfunction or low libido. It could be lack of muscle mass, or inability to recover from training, constant soreness, joint pain, stuff like that. What are some others? Also, metabolic dysfunction. So testosterone improves your metabolism. It makes you more insulin sensitive. So if you have an elevated HbA1c, if you have elevated cholesterol, testosterone typically improves HbA1c and cholesterol. So those are all symptoms that testosterone replacement therapy aims to address. So why in the fuck, if you're trying to relieve these symptoms, would you arbitrarily limit somebody's TRT dose? If they're not getting symptom relief on a certain dose, why would you arbitrarily put a limit on the dose or look at serum concentrations and say, oh, well, you're at 1,500 and you're still feeling like, like you have low mood, you still have lack of libido, you're still depressed, you still have anxiety, you still have all these other issues. Yeah, let's lower your dose so that you have worse symptoms again. So if you're seeing symptom improvement with escalating doses, and then you just read a chart, oh, your testosterone's at 1,500, we have to lower the dose. But when we elevated the dose, my symptoms improved. Why would we lower the dose? I'm just going to get worse. Yeah, but on the piece of paper, it said 1,500. That's a high number. Like, it's stupid. So, again, and what's especially hypocritical about this, let me see if I can find the fucking video. I think it was a short that I saw. I think it was this channel.
What are some of the biggest mistakes
Yeah, I think this was the channel. I don't know why YouTube
people make?
Why? Oh my god. Why isn't it letting me... Quick health tips. Anyway, the story Greg made, Greg said this on a podcast on that channel. He said he went to 3 different doctors to get prescribed TRT. One of the doctors arbitrarily said, if your serum testosterone concentrations go above 400, I'm taking you off TRT. Like, we have to lower the dose. And Greg said, well, why would they arbitrarily do that if I feel better and I'm getting symptom relief on higher doses? So Greg knows this logic, it just makes absolutely no sense. Greg encountered this problem himself. A doctor told him, I'm not going to allow you to take any higher doses of testosterone because for some reason, when I see a number on a chart, I just get paranoid or something, and I'm not going to let you take any higher doses. So Greg had to go to another doctor that allowed him to take a higher dose. So Greg knows this logic makes absolutely no fucking sense. The goal of TRT is symptom relief, not to arbitrarily hit some sort of number on a chart on a blood test. So he is knowingly and willingly lying and fear-mongering about TRT and spreading misinformation deliberately, presumably because he's just a fucking lying jackass, and this has something to do with his psychotic brain wanting to promote like some supplement he's selling, like Turk Builder or some shit. Because if he can get people to be afraid of taking TRT, oh, well, now I can sell more Turk Builder or some fucking crap. Dodo donated $2. Of course she is a neo-Nazi. Let me see.
Comical. Like, I mean, a room of 200 people coming together to shit on a podcaster. Like, this is not serious behavior. But again, who is surprised when it comes to these characters? Like Randy Fine, if you don't know who he is, he's a representative from Florida. He's the same guy who bragged about not washing his hands after he had a handshake with Netanyahu. He's repeatedly introduced bills to criminalize anti-Semitism, infringing upon free speech. I mean, he obviously, I'm sorry to say, but he obviously cares more about Israel than he does, principles like free speech. So, buddy, like, my advice.
Yes, because there's no such thing as American Jews. Why would somebody be concerned with anti-Semitism when Jews don't live in America, right? Like, if you want to, like if this guy said he wanted to criminalize, I don't know, anti-black racism, oh, well, maybe you should move to Africa. There's no such thing as black people in the United States. It's not like this sort of policy would possibly be in the interest of Americans.
To you, Randy Fine, is just move to Israel at this point. Like, considering you had to go through anger management classes a few years ago, I genuinely think you would probably be happier if you just moved to Israel. And that's what a dig at him.
Yeah, she's just a dumb bitch, dude. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
A week, what we're starting at. Will I take a little bit more? Maybe. I think the most I'd ever take is like 250.
Very high levels, it isn't safe.
They do so with...
That is not a high level of testosterone, and it is perfectly safe. Again, there's meta-analyses of randomized trials where men have been given doses of testosterone up to 600 milligrams per week. And lo and behold, no health problems. So just because you're on a higher dose of testosterone, that doesn't mean you're going to have health issues. There are various reasons why you may need higher doses of testosterone. Everybody metabolizes these drugs differently. Some people can be on a pretty high dose of testosterone, like 600 milligrams, and that only puts their testosterone at the top of the reference range. It's rare, but it happens. Some people do not efficiently metabolize these drugs. Also, people have different androgen receptor densities. People have different CAG repeats at the androgen receptor. So androgen receptor binding affinity is lower. So in order to actually get the benefit from the drug, they may need higher doses. So again, why would you just arbitrarily say, oh, well, there's no reason you should ever take that high of a dose of the drug, even though you need the higher dose in order to get the benefit? This is the same with any drug. Some people need higher doses to get the benefit from the drug. like high blood pressure meds. Some people need higher doses of blood pressure meds in order to control their blood pressure. Why would you say, oh, well, this is a higher dose than normal, so we're just going to keep your blood pressure elevated and put you at risk for heart disease and kidney disease because, well, that's a higher dose than normal. If you're not getting side effects from the higher dose and you're getting the benefit...
Do you think Sugar Boy comes raw inside of that virgin?
I don't care. Thanks for interrupting me.
Wow, even after leaving the Daily Wire, Brett Cooper still somehow finds ways to promote hate and be a complete piece of shit.
Well, what do you expect? She's a Daily Wire host. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Necessarily a nuanced approach to how to do this.
This is not TRT prescribed by your doctor. It's essentially low-dose cycles.
Take me through the risks of TRT. What are they, high level?
If we're going to talk about TRT done correctly, do you mean literally TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, or...
That and its more malignant offshoots?
When you look on social media and you ask people about TRT, they're not actually on TRT. They're mislabeling TRT in order to get away with using small cycles and no one saying anything to them negative at all.
I would say let's start with what's sort of known in the medical world, right? So we'll start with kind of appropriate physician-administered testosterone replacement therapy.
For an appropriately aged individual.
For an appropriately aged individual at an appropriate physiologic dose.
And so what that means is, what are the dangers of using the proper amount of testosterone at the proper age? If you're in your 20s, it most likely is not the proper age for you, unless, of course, you're suppressed. And if you are, you could use...
The majority of men suffer from hypogonadism. That's not even a controversial statement. You can look at the decline in average testosterone levels over time. The majority of men are suffering from hypogonadism. So, yeah. Your average man should be on testosterone replacement therapy.
Either in clomiphene or testosterone with the advice and consent.
Why is he mentioning enclomiphene? Why would you take enclomiphene? It has more side effects that are particularly worrying, like blindness.
Imagine having an 18-year-old Chinese vegan girlfriend.
I don't care, dude. It's just not funny.
From your doctor. If you're just buying some gear from bro at the gym and saying, I'll just do 1 cc a week, that's low, that's TRT. It's not. It's abusing steroids.
Testosterone replacement therapy is not increasing the risk of prostate cancer at all, and it may...
So, by the way, 1 cc a week is not a high dose. Testosterone cypionate is dosed at 200 milligrams per mil.
That bald idiot just said appropriate physician-administered TRT. Do Terry's no such thing? Lol.
Well, yeah, if you know about... If you've ever been through it, you'll know doctors have no fucking clue what they're talking about. Your average physician is going to fuck you over if you listen to their advice on testosterone replacement therapy. They have no fucking clue what they're doing. They're likely going to give you way too low of a fucking dose. And if you have any side effects, they're not going to manage them properly. So, yeah, proper physician, it's just silly. What he's saying is just fucking stupid. Thanks for the donation, though, Unicorn Jizz. Yeah, so, like I was saying, testosterone cypionate is dosed at 200 milligrams per mil. So if you're taking 1 cc a week, you're only taking 200 milligrams. That is considered a high TRT dose, but like again, it's fine. I was taking 210 milligrams of cypionate per week. I literally showed the results of that on my Instagram. So I was taking 210 milligrams per week, so slightly over. It was 30 milligrams test sip per day. I gained a total of 17 pounds body weight, but I lost body fat. So I probably gained about 20 pounds of muscle in only 2 months. And on top of that, I showed my blood work. My LDL went from 79 milligrams per deciliter to 61 milligrams per deciliter. So nearly a 20-point decrease, which is substantive. That does give you a substantive risk reduction in heart disease. So my markers for heart disease improved. My HbA1c improved from 5.1 to 4.9, so I'm more insulin sensitive. And my blood pressure was low. It was, so the last, I mentioned my last blood pressure measurement at the time was 105/58. My blood pressure is sitting around 110/70 right now, and that's on a higher dose. So I'm taking 350 milligrams testosterone per week total. So it's 50 milligrams per day. And I'm also on Boldenone, 30 milligrams per day. So 550 milligrams total total for anabolic androgenic steroids. And my blood pressure is the same, 110/70. It has not increased. 110/70 is basically perfect blood pressure. It's not elevated. It's right in the range that's recommended. And I've gained about another 5 pounds since then too. And again, just pure muscle. So Greg's saying, oh, it's dangerous. Why is it dangerous? My health markers improved on those doses. It's just, like he's just fear-mongering and spouting absolute retarded nonsense.
What's with your obsession with fat dykes? I mean, your ideal girl is basically a dyke but with some more muscle. Cringe ass retard. You'll never know what the inside of an 18-year-old Chinese girl's pussy feels like.
That's great. Should hop on TRT or in clomiphene. I'm 19 years old, 175 pounds, 15% body fat, 5'10", and 650 test. Why in the fuck would you take in clomiphene? Just go fuck yourself, retard.
In fact, be decreasing the risk slightly.
Wow. And so when I was younger, we always heard, testosterone risk is prostate cancer, that you could get prostate cancer when you're older. And
testosterone does not increase risk of prostate cancer. Again, there's large prospective cohorts and randomized trials on this. There is no increased risk in prostate cancer. The only association with, prostate health and testosterone replacement therapy is benign prostatic hyperplasia. That's it. So you might get prostate enlargement, but it does not actually cause prostate cancer. And in fact, men with low testosterone are at higher risk of prostate cancer. So if you're hypogonadal, you're at higher risk of prostate cancer compared to a man who is on TRT. Again, Greg is just promoting fucking retarded nonsense that he's just making up and pulling out of his ass.
And I know that I recently had an elevated PSA, and so we were concerned.
Elevated PSA means absolutely nothing. PSA tests are a complete fucking joke. Jerking off will elevate your PSA. So prostate-specific antigen, it's something that your prostate produces to protect sperm from the sperm killer cells inside a vagina. So when you ejaculate, your prostate releases prostate-specific antigen to allow the sperm to survive inside a vagina so that it will reach an egg and you'll be able to get a girl pregnant. Elevated PSA has absolutely zero predictability with prostate cancer risk. So you'll see the reference range for PSA, and there's a cutoff point where it's recommended that you get a biopsy to test for prostate cancer. if your PSA reaches a certain number. It has about a 20% predictability, so less than random chance. So 80% of the time, if you have an elevated PSA outside of the reference range where it's recommended you get a biopsy to test for prostate cancer, 80% of the time, it's nothing. So PSA tests are absolute fucking bullshit. They test for nothing, and they're a worthless test that will just encourage your doctor to perform surgery on you for absolutely no fucking reason.
Can I continue to use testosterone and continue to my HRT? Thankfully, we discovered that the PSA was elevated because I had inflammation from bike riding. The seat gets up all...
Yeah, so if you ride a bike or ride a motorcycle or you get kicked in the nuts, anything that will put pressure on the prostate, you'll have an elevated PSA. So it's just fucking... PSA tests are fucking garbage. They do nothing. There was a doctor on Starting Strength who made a joke. PSA tests should stand for... What is it? He made a joke that it's just like anxiety, prostate-specific anxiety, I think. It doesn't... It tests for nothing.
I don't think you realize how soft and tight and velvety and supple Chinese pussies are. Especially the 18-year-old virgin ones that you get to deflower. By you I mean not literally you, more like 50-year-old Australian men, or
in that
one
business,
guy in particular.
And it was inflamed. I was prescribed finasteride at 5 milligrams a day, which I'll discuss those problems in a little bit. But since that time, I don't have to take anything. Thankfully, if you're on TRT prescribed by your doctor in lower doses, allowing you to be in the normal reference range, an increase...
So again, the goal of testosterone replacement therapy is to relieve symptoms, not to put you in the normal reference range. Like, reference ranges have nothing to do with TRT. It's about symptom relief and treating the patient, not meeting some arbitrary number on a fucking blood test result.
Increase in prostate cancer risk is not of a concern.
Do you do it and shut your eyes?
There is no data whatsoever indicating that high doses of any anabolic steroids increase prostate cancer risk. None whatsoever. Again, there's an association with benign prostatic hyperplasia. There's no association whatsoever with prostate cancer risk.
And never look again? Of course not. You're still monitoring his PSA every 3 months, and you're going to look for any sign of recurrence. And if there is, in fact, a recurrence, you would immediately cease it, because what we do know is testosterone would feed prostate cancer.
If you don't get your...
There is a difference between causing prostate cancer and accelerating a cancer that already exists. So a risk factor for cancer is different than a risk factor for cancer survival. So something might not cause cancer, but if you have the cancer, it might lower your risk of survival. Those are two completely different things. Peter Attia is a fucking idiot who is not able to, like, use any kind of critical thinking and nuance, and he has no fucking clue what he's talking about. So again, there is no association with testosterone replacement therapy and prostate cancer. I'm not even fucking sure if testosterone replacement therapy even affects prostate cancer survival risk. But like you should know, these are two different things. TRT does not cause prostate cancer. It's possible that if you already have prostate cancer, TRT could accelerate the growth of the cancer, but that doesn't mean it causes the cancer. So once you have the cancer, maybe consider going off the TRT or taking some ancillary medications like finasteride or something. That is a prostate cancer medication. But this fear-mongering, oh, you're going to get prostate cancer if you take steroids, no evidence for that whatsoever. In fact, the opposite. Men on TRT are at lower risk of prostate cancer compared to men that are hypogonadal. Sengoku Donatillers, do you find it annoying whenever you're trying to purchase something and a cashier tries to make small talk with you and you really want to just grab and go, or you don't really care? Well, at the end of the day, you can just leave. You don't have any obligation to talk to them. So if you really need to go, just leave. You don't owe them anything, so I never get bothered by it. Thanks for the donation, though, Sengoku.
Hey VG, much love.
Well, thank you, Nut Muffin. Appreciate the donation, dude. Hope you're doing well. Soul Child donatillers, look forward to saying I told you so once you see things only improve in New York City. You mean like more crime? Yeah. We really need more crime. Thanks for the donation, Soul Child.
Blood work monitored. You don't know if your PSA is elevated. You don't know what's going on. And there's a host of other...
You do not need to look at your PSA. It's a completely bullshit, irrelevant test.
Problems. And so remember, I am a part owner of Algo RX. And so if you require your blood work and or, for example, enclomiphene and or...
So again, this has to do with something with his relationship to this company. Why out of nowhere is Greg promoting enclomiphene? Inexplicably. He's made video after video after video about TRT. He's gone on and on and on about TRT for years now. He made a video about how he injects TRT, going over how to prepare the vial, how to extract the needle, where he injects. Why out of nowhere is he talking about an exotic serum? So this has to do with his relationship with this company and them telling him, hey, make sure you mention enclomiphene, because I guess they want to sell enclomiphene or something, or this is part of some marketing strategy where they know certain people don't want to inject testosterone, so they're offering enclomiphene or something. So this has nothing to do with his opinion on enclomiphene. He doesn't think this is like a good, safe drug to use. He's only promoting enclomiphene because some people that he's working with in this fucking company are telling him to promote enclomiphene with no regard for its efficacy or safety.
HRT. Of course, click the link in the description, code Greg for 10% off.
But the point I'm making is around initiation. Is there any evidence that testosterone replacement therapy initiates prostate cancer? The answer is no, there is not. And there
most men are in fact hypogonadal. The reason we know that is because, so the reference range for testosterone, I think right now, what is it? It ranges from like 250 to just under 900. Before it was, I think 300 to about 1,000 or 1,100. That was based off of 3 large prospective cohorts. One of those was the Framingham study. What they found was men who are at the top of the reference range for testosterone, or like the top quartile, who are around 1,000 milligrams of testosterone, 1,000 nanograms per deciliter of testosterone in their serum, they had a 4 times lower risk of all-cause mortality compared to men who are in the lower quartile, which was around 300. So your average man today, who's in their mid-20s, they're in the low 400s. They're sitting at around 420, 430. So if you just look at health outcome data, men who are around 1,000 are in better health than men who are around, 400. That is indisputable. Men who are around 1,000 nanograms per deciliter testosterone in their serum are healthier than men who are around 400. So, you can use your fucking brain and, determine if you're in the 400 range, you probably should be on testosterone replacement therapy, since men who have more than double your testosterone are healthier than you. So, no, most men are hypogonadal. And even if you're gonna debate me on that and say, oh, well, they don't have symptoms, their libido's fine, all that shit. Again, just anecdotally, you can ask anybody who is sitting around 400 and they went on testosterone replacement, they got their serum to around 1,000 or more. They're better off. They feel better. More energy, more libido, better mood. There's meta-analyses of randomized trials on this. There is a linear dose response with increasing levels of testosterone and better mood, better mental health, on top of also like physical health benefits. So, you know, lower cholesterol, better HbA1c, you know, better metabolism, more muscle mass. Testosterone also seems to be really beneficial with getting rid of visceral fat, which is the most dangerous type of fat. So why, why in the fuck would you fearmonger about testosterone? It's fucking good for you. It's just silly. Dodo donated $2. Let me see. Well, that is a music video. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
There is some evidence to the contrary.
If you do currently already have prostate cancer, then testosterone, it feeds it. And so that you need to be careful. But if you don't...
I don't even know if that's necessarily true. It's probably the DHT that might contribute to prostate cancer growth. But you can reduce your DHT by taking finasteride or what's the other one? Dutasteride. So finasteride and dutasteride, they're extremely potent 5-alpha reduction inhibitors. So you can crush your DHT levels without going off testosterone. And estrogen does not seem to play a role in promoting prostate cancer growth. And we know this because there are studies where estrogen is administered to men with prostate cancer does not accelerate prostate cancer growth. So, again, I haven't looked at the research on testosterone replacement therapy among men with prostate cancer specifically, but I would imagine DHT would be the issue here, and you can just take a DHT blocker.
Won't have it, it's not going to cause it to start, if that makes any sense.
Dodo $20, would you say you live with zero stress, zero anxiety now? Also, do you think your last mushroom trip or going on testosterone improved your well-being more? I wouldn't say zero stress, definitely zero anxiety, and I would say the mushroom trip helped more, but testosterone replacement, like, it has massive benefits for mental health. So, like, again, the research on this is extremely clear. The first use of testosterone was to treat depression. It's an extremely potent antidepressant, and it seems to be more potent than antidepressant meds, which is, it's kind of hilarious because, again, when men have depression, the first thing they'll give you is antidepressant meds that will come with all sorts of side effects like sexual dysfunction. I don't know why they're not prescribing a drug that's more effective for treating depression in men. But yeah, testosterone helps a whole hell of a lot. I would say if I never took mushrooms, but I took testosterone, chances are like 90% of my problems would have improved anyway. But yeah, the mushroom trip probably more overall beneficial. Thanks for the donation though, Dodo.
Cardiovascular disease question is a little bit more difficult and the data are a little bit more muddled.
But what about the heart? Now, this is something you have to be careful about. If you're abusing steroids in higher doses, you all know you can have increased cardiovascular disease, heart attack, stroke, the list goes on and on. And
there's no real evidence of that. So this is based on large prospective cohort data, or in a lot of cases, small prospective cohort data, where there's only a few hundred participants. So you'll see some of these prospective cohorts where they look at men who are taking performance-enhancing drugs, anabolic androgenic steroids, and they'll find that the men on anabolic androgenic steroids have higher risk of heart disease. Now, that is an extremely general term. There are many anabolic androgenic steroids, dozens on the market. So somebody, and also they don't discriminate compounds or doses. So somebody who's taking a gram of fucking trenbolone a week is going to be lumped into the same category as somebody who's only taking like 200-300 milligrams of test per week. Does that make any sense? So when you don't discriminate based on compound or dose, no shit, you're going to find this association. And on top of that, there's other confounding variables. Everyone in these studies is getting their steroids in the black market. Now, there are safe black market steroids, and there are dangerous black market steroids. If you're getting steroids that are being made in India, where they add in solvents like ethyl oleate, which are toxic, and will massively raise your C-reactive protein, cause kidney damage, liver damage, directly damage your arterial function, yeah, you're probably going to have increased risk of heart disease, but that has nothing to do with the actual steroids you're taking. It has to do with like other compounds, like the fucking solvents that they're adding on the black market. That's also not something they take into account in these prospective cohorts. So it tells you nothing. What you need are randomized trials on single fucking compounds where you actually know how they're being fucking sourced. And so far, the only research we have is on testosterone. And lo and behold, testosterone does not increase risk of atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease in randomized trials. Just doesn't.
Hey VG, wanna hear a funnier version of that song?
That's still not good. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
And you really need to monitor your blood work. Do you have low HDL, elevated LDL? What exactly is going on? There are, in fact, several risks, especially when you start to push the envelope and start to take higher doses. And remember, everyone wants to take higher doses. Sorry.
Yeah, that's probably because testosterone is a extremely potent mood enhancer. And again, there's a linear dose response with higher testosterone administration and better perceived mood and just feelings of wellness.
I will say this, isn't Cartman a little too young to be singing that song?
Maybe. Cartman's pretty mature for his age in some ways, though. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
You do. I do. Why do you think that I don't? I'm on 140 milligrams a week. My doctor said 200, no problem for you. I can take that. Based on my blood work, based on the results, it's safe for me to take 200. And so why do you think that I'm not? Don't you think I want to get more jacked than last time? Don't you think I want wider?
I'm guessing the reason he doesn't take a higher dose is because he ends up getting side effects from the higher dose. I'm assuming it has something to do with erectile dysfunction. It's fairly common. I would say probably affects 10% of men, roughly, where if they do start taking higher doses, they end up getting erectile dysfunction, and it's probably due to their estrogen going too high. Some men are extremely sensitive to estrogen values, and they need to keep their estrogen within a narrow range in order to avoid erectile dysfunction. I'm assuming that's That's really what it is. Kid Boo donated $2. Let me see. Household chores, when a man does them, stop celebrating it. It's the least any functional adult should do. When a woman does them, it's unpaid work. Yeah. Yeah. AI is funny. Read this manga, nigga. Blade of the Immortal. I actually saw the live action movie of Blade of the Immortal, and it was really good. At least as far as an anime movie. That was actually pretty good. I'll keep that on my list. Blade of the Immortal actually seems pretty good. I was actually impressed by the live action adaptation. Thanks for the donation, Kid Boo.
Shoulders that I want to look like a bodybuilder. I've done it my entire life. The reason is because the lowest dose that makes you happy, whatever that dose may be.
I don't know why you would have that. The lowest dose that makes you happy. What if you can take a higher dose and you're happier and you don't have any side effects? So how about the maximum efficacious dose? Like where you don't have side effects and you get the most benefit from. Does that not make more sense?
The lower, the better. If you can take less, then do so.
On balance, they come out in the direction of TRT does not increase the risk of cardiovascular disease.
Even when I was on HRT. Now, prior to that, I was on abusive levels of steroids, lots, 10 to 20 times the doses. I knew that wasn't good for me, but I thought, well, eventually I'm going to have to stop. But even when I had to stop, I didn't want to go cold turkey.
It's honestly caddy sad that a fictional child like Eric Cartman is still more mature than most of these women.
Yeah, at least in some ways. You know what? Yeah, actually he is a bit more mature. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
My testosterone levels were 47. They tested me again and it was 49. This is very, very low. It's similar to that of a female. And so I needed testosterone. My body wasn't producing testosterone normally due to my abuse for 10 years. For me to hear that I can take low doses of testosterone prescribed by my doctor safely and I won't get cardiovascular disease from that, maybe from what I did previously, well, that is music to my ears.
In my view, that's a slightly premature conclusion, because I don't think the Traverse study was done perfectly. Did not give men a high enough dose, in my view.
But with one caveat. If you give people testosterone in lower doses on the lower end, it's 100% safe. So for example, you're at 49 nanograms per deciliter, 47, or even let's call it 67, 67.
There's no logical reason why you'd think testosterone at, moderate doses would increase risk of cardiovascular disease. For one thing, testosterone administration tends to lower your bad cholesterol, which is the principal risk factor for heart disease. So if you're lowering your bad cholesterol by roughly 20%, you would expect that to lower your risk of heart disease. And we know this link is causal. On top of that, testosterone is a prohormone to estrogen. Estrogen is cardioprotective. So if you're doing testosterone administration, in all likelihood, your estrogen is going to increase, and that also has a cardioprotective effect. And on top of that, testosterone improves insulin sensitivity, which again is a risk factor for cardiovascular disease.
Do you think it's a bad idea for career-oriented men to focus on dating?
Yeah, no shit. If you want to make less money and have opportunity costs, then yeah, date women. But the more the more free time you have, or the more time that you can focus on, making money by not putting that attention into dating, then obviously you're going to make more money. Thanks for the donation, though, Taban.
Those low doses that if you get up to normal levels, 500 or 600, 700.
So again, there's no logical reason for why you'd suspect testosterone to increase risk of heart disease. No logical reason whatsoever. There is reason to believe certain compounds will. So like trenbolone, for instance, it's well known for like massively elevating C-reactive protein. Most healthy people, their C-reactive protein is around 1. Trenbolone can get you over 20. It can literally 20x your C-reactive protein. Certain compounds also are associated with increased elevation in LDL. So those would make sense, but why would you suspect testosterone to be like increased risk of heart disease?
Perhaps no increased risk of cardiovascular disease, but if you start pushing the envelope, you want to take it up to 1,000, 1,100, 1,200. That's still safe, right? It's not.
I got my testosterone up to 2,220 nanograms per deciliter in my last lab work. My LDL cholesterol went down and my HbA1c improved, and I did not have a bad elevation in my blood pressure. My blood pressure stayed within the normal healthy range. Why would you assume that would increase my risk of heart disease?
It increases your risk of heart disease. And
Why?
There are several reasons for that. We'll get into that in a little bit.
So the men started out very hypogonadal with a total testosterone of somewhere between 1 and 300 nanograms per deciliter, but they were only replaced to about 600 nanograms per deciliter. And while that's a reasonable rate of replacement, I don't think it represents what's happening in the world.
Absolutely not. That is the lowest dose that makes you happy. If you go from 300 to 600, you're doubled. You're probably going to be happy, but you're going to still want more. You added on those 8 or 9 pounds of muscle and you're thinking, I want 8 or 9 more. And so you then double the dose. The HRT clinics, they prescribe you perhaps 200 milligrams, 250 milligrams, and you get even more jacked. And so you like it that much more. You're happier. Do you really think Chris Williamson was happy when he simply added enclomiphene? We saw the video where he was promoting this. He said he took something. He didn't list what it was, but we know what it was. And his testosterone levels were over 1,000. But yet he still ended up taking TRT. And look at this guy.
So, yeah, he probably ended up taking TRT because enclomiphene has really bad side effects. Particularly with mood, but some of the side effects with ocular degeneration can be pretty immediate. Within a few weeks of taking it, you might notice blurry vision. So, again, Greg is just an immoral, lying jackass. That should tell you all you need to know about enclomiphene. A guy took enclomiphene and decided to just go on TRT. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe it's because testosterone is a better drug than enclomiphene. Fucking retarded. What do you think about lion's mane, daily, or any other mushrooms as supplements, etc.? I really wouldn't be able to tell you if you're going to be much better off taking some kind of mushroom supplement like lion's mane. Presumably, if you're taking an actual lion's mane supplement, it would be fine for you. I wouldn't expect it to have any detriment. So worst case scenario, it does nothing. Best case scenario, maybe you'll be healthier long term. The problem is with the supplement industry, you don't really have any idea if you're actually getting the supplement that you're buying. A lot of the time, supplements are either underdosed or don't even have the active ingredient in it because they're not regulated like drugs. So
Do you not think he wants to look like a C-bum, or at least a smaller version of him? Of course he does, and so do the ladies. And so you can see the temptation. If I increase my testosterone dose to 200, my testosterone levels are probably going to be 12 to 1500 nanograms per deciliter. But that is too high. It is not as safe.
Why is that too high? Why is that not safe? What is the logical reason behind, like, it's horseshit.
Could I get away with it? Maybe, but I shouldn't take that risk.
It's possible the Traverse trial only answered the question, does low dose, or as one of my analysts put it, does testosterone light replacement therapy increase the risk of cardiovascular disease? And I think there we can say the answer is probably no.
Great way to put it. Testosterone light replacement therapy, it's not dangerous and it's safe. We know that. But moderate to high replacement, we're not sure. I believe that moderate likely also.
So, again, I brought my testosterone up to 2,220 nanograms per deciliter. Every marker of heart disease risk improved. So my cholesterol went down 20 points. I think my triglycerides either stayed the same or maybe lowered slightly. And my HbA1c improved. Like, those are the main markers for heart disease risk. So if the main markers for heart disease risk improved on a testosterone dose, that put me over 2,000 nanograms per deciliter, which is 2x the upper end of the fucking reference range, and 4 times what I was at before going on testosterone. Why would there be any logical assumption that this is increasing my heart disease risk, particularly with atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease? Like, you could maybe say, oh, but what about like left ventricular hypertrophy? That's another topic. But yeah, with atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease, why would you assume that? There's no reason to. And again, even with left ventricular hypertrophy, the main risk factor for that is going to be, well, modifiable risk factor is going to be blood pressure. My blood pressure's low, so we can, we don't have to check that box. Genetics play a role. That's not a modifiable risk factor, though. So if you exercise a lot and you are at a high genetic risk for LVH, you're probably going to get LVH anyway. So yeah.
So is safe. If you're getting regular blood work done, remember you can get it from AlgoRx. Click the link in the description. And if your doctor's looking all over those values and it's saying, wow, HDL is good, LDL is good, creatinine's great, every marker, no problem. And
creatinine does not measure anything. It's a useless test.
You have low blood pressure. It's under 120 over 80.
My blood pressure is under 120 over 80. It's 110 over 70.
The chances are that the testosterone that you're using, it's not bad. But when you start pushing the envelope, I saw Alex Eubank on...
Again, my testosterone was over 2,000. Everything was good, including my blood pressure, and I'm not on any ancillary medications for blood pressure.
200 milligrams a week. And Hamza, he had 1,500 nanograms per deciliter. He said that our ancestral tenants, kind of like what the Liver King was yapping about, that they were all at 1,500. Well, that's also bullshit. He's a liar, but, that's what Hamza is, a liar.
Dude, I'm fucking mogging these fools.
You decide, I'm going to up the doses. That's when it isn't safe.
And I see patients getting super physiologic levels all the time. They come into our practice, they've been treated at some T clinic, and they walk in with a free testosterone of 35 nanograms per deciliter, which is like twice what you would consider reasonable.
And so even though I'm a part owner of AlgoRx, remember, the more that you buy, the more that the clinic makes. And so you have to be careful, especially with other clinics, that their prices are through the roof and they're incentivized to push and sell more supplements, more drugs, more medications than last time. And so remember, when the person on the phone that you're talking to from a TRT clinic gets a percentage of sales, a percentage.
Is he literally saying that the clinic that he's a part owner of is financially incentivized to sell more drugs for no reason.
A cut. Do you really think that your best interest is in mine? I mean, for some people, absolutely. They have ethics. Most people do not. Once they see that dollar sign, they know that they can make more money. Hey, I want you to take 200.
Creatinine test isn't even particularly useful in the general population. It's more predictive of kidney health, but even in the general population, not particularly. Like, you can end up having elevated creatinine if you just exercise a lot, even without taking creatine supplements. So, no. The only real marker for kidney health is going to be cystatin C. If your cystatin C is elevated, the only logical conclusion you can come to is some form of kidney damage. The only other thing you can test for is protein in the urine, so urine analysis.
Have you ever stopped to think that everything you're saying is anecdotal evidence? Just because everything is good with you on high test doesn't mean that's how it is for everyone. You can be an outlier. Greg can be generalizing. Idiot dumbass.
I wasn't making the claim that because it's fine for me, it's fine for everyone. I was pointing out... You know what? I don't even need to explain this. You're just a fucking retard, okay? If you're too stupid to fucking understand what I'm saying, then, like, what are you even fucking doing here? Go fuck yourself, fucking idiot. You're just a waste of time. Kid Boo donated $2, let me see.
Women have 52% less serotonin than men.
I did not.
Which is why if you make them mad, they're never going to forget it because it stimulates the part of their brain that keeps them stuck. And why women are twice the risk of depression as men.
The predisposition to rumination, to being stuck on thought patterns.
Yes.
Okay. So
they also have better frontal lobes though. So I published a study on 46,000 brains and looking at differences between male and female brains, and women have much better frontal lobe function, which is why they go to jail 14 times less than men do.
I would imagine.
I don't know if that's necessarily an indication of better frontal lobe function. I think that's just an indication of different risk assessment.
The testosterone plays a role there as well.
It does.
Like, men are more interested in high risk, high reward kind of things. Like that's why you see more men who are millionaires or billionaires. Men are just willing to, you know, they're willing to assume higher risks than women are. I don't know if that's necessarily an indication of better frontal lobe function.
But also the lack of forethought. Did you know women?
Well, that's one way of looking at it. Interesting, though. Thanks for the donation, Kid Boo.
Great news, VG Democrats have won all the elections, so Trump is fucking done, for things are finally starting to turn around for the better.
Well, I guess that's good. We'll see how things turn out. He could still win 2028. Which would be hilarious and frightening. But thanks for the donation, Dodo. How do you manage your blood pressure? Well, I don't eat too much sodium, and I also do daily cardio, and I drink lots of water. That helps keep your blood pressure low.
150 milligrams a week. We'll add into that telmisartan. Don't worry about the blood pressure, telmisartan. Oh, and let's throw in some Cialis. Oh, and may as well take some HCG. And why not? Let's just throw in some enclomiphene while we're at it. Oh, I know.
There's no way a TRT clinic would prescribe enclomiphene and testosterone at the same time.
Oh, IGF-1 and perhaps some GH, MK677.
TRT clinics, I think in the States they can prescribe HGH. I don't think they can. Yeah, they can't in Canada. And No one can afford human growth hormone from a TRT clinic. Pharmaceutical human growth hormone is so outrageously expensive. Like, literally nobody can afford it.
What else can I give this person? Does that sound familiar? Remember, I've done phone consults for years. Do you know how many people I've had consults with from other HRT clinics? I don't even need to name them, of which they were pushing $10,000 to $15,000 worth of medications per year. I'm like, don't do any of that and take half of that HRT dose, and that's it. You might think that it's perhaps a waste of money to talk to Coach Greg or to get a coach and so on. I do, in fact, charge a lot of money, but I'm not going to sell you the bullshit. I'm going to be open, honest, and transparent. I tell you exactly what I'm doing, what I've done in the past, and what I believe that you should be doing. And you can trust.
Yeah, so this guy's on steroids and this guy's on steroids. So literally after claiming steroids bad, he tells people to take steroids. Right. If this is not an indication that Greg is deliberately lying, I don't know what is. So after going on and on and on about how if you're taking even just 200 milligrams of testosterone per week, oh, that's an abusive dose. That would put your testosterone in like, you know, over 1,000. That's dangerous. Like we can tell these two dudes are probably well over that amount. So, yeah, clearly Greg doesn't believe anything he's saying. Obviously, he thinks it's safe to use anabolic androgenic steroids in higher doses. Otherwise, he wouldn't be telling people to take higher doses.
Coach Greg.
So you'll see these men who are on these super physiologic doses of testosterone also showing up on 5-alpha reductase inhibitors, which we could talk about why I'm not a huge fan of those.
Exactly. Should you be taking polypharmacy, you need to take finasteride. Previously, I said I was at 5 milligrams of finasteride. It's just a lot. For steroid users, you're probably going to take 1. This can reduce your sex drive. It's causing problems. It's not just for me, for other people. Thankfully, I was able to stop.
Enclomiphene can reduce your sex drive, but he's fine with promoting enclomiphene.
As I did not have prostate cancer.
And on aromatase inhibitors, which I'm also not a fan of.
Exactly. If you need to rely on Arimidex or Nova because your testosterone levels are so high that it's converting too much to estrogen, your dose is too high. Stop. If you're taking so much testosterone that you're developing gynecomastia, that is a negative side effect. It's too much and you don't need it. Now, I get it. You want it.
This is such a, like, two-dimensional way of looking at things. So, some men hyperaromatize. It's just the way it is. So, in order to be on practically any dose of testosterone, they're going to have to use some form of estrogen management. Either an aromatase inhibitor or a SERM. So what, are those people just supposed to stay hypogonadal, feel like shit, and be depressed and kill themselves? So that's just silly. And secondly, again, if the efficacious dose puts your estrogen too high, then, like, what's the alternative? Like, stay more miserable? Like, it's just stupid.
But you don't need it. And so anytime you're getting these side effects, anytime you need polypharmacy, please ask yourself, are you just smoking some copium and just trying to convince yourself that you need those doses that, hey, the doctor prescribed it, and so I need it? If it's from a TRT clinic, they're incentivized to sell you more. And so please be careful. Ensure that.
I'm not sure if TRT clinics make any money whatsoever with like these drugs. I don't think they make any. It would be the pharmacy that makes money. So I'm pretty sure that's not how that works. People have the same conspiracy theory with statin medications. You'll see this in the carnivore crowd. The only reason statins are prescribed so much for heart disease is because doctors get some sort of kickback from prescribing statins. They literally don't make any money from statins. That's just not how the medical system works. They don't make money selling drugs. And two, statins are extremely cheap. Like, they're generic medications. So even if they did make some kind of money, like, there's no way they'd be incentivized to sell you drugs because they'd make, like, no money anyway. So this just isn't how that works.
You call yourself vegangains, yet you are still as black as you were 7 years ago. 4/5, 1/10, 5/8, 5/6 care of 17. Inverted exclamation mark 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 inverted.
Okay, I'm just gonna skip that, but thanks for the donation on Wib.
That you're taking the appropriate dose for you, and you need to do your own research.
We do see men who have like a permanent loss of libido. This is reported in the literature.
That's what finasteride syndrome is.
Yeah. So
TRT side effects don't take place after like 9 months you just started. Most of the side effects you're going to have are when you first start, so that's not true.
So basically there's something about blocking DHT that might not be a great idea.
Permanent loss of libido would be bad.
Yeah, permanent loss of libido would be bad. And you know what would be even worse? Permanent loss of the ability to get erections. And that has happened. People call me up and they're like, hey, I did one cycle. I was on 500 milligrams of test. I threw in some Anavar. And since I've stopped, I can't get an erection. What can I do? They'll pay anything. I'm like, Cialis, Viagra? Of course I've tried that.
Test propionate. That would be the first thing I'd recommend.
Calling you, Greg. What can I do? Well, what are your testosterone levels? Can you go back on HRT? There's a lot of problems. And so remember, if you ever choose to go on steroids, a cycle, that potentially can cause you problems for the rest of your life. While you're on steroids, typically for most people, their libido is through the roof. But then what happens when you stop? The opposite.
Yeah, fertility for sure, right? So at once you give exogenous testosterone, you're going to cut down on endogenous production, including sperm production, and therefore you're going to see a reduction in fertility.
I do know.
That sounds dope. So the less of a chance of you getting a bitch pregnant, the better.
Many bodybuilders, IPD pros who have abused testosterone. I abused testosterone, had my sperm tested, was 100% viable. And so, does it affect everyone?
There's actually no evidence that AAS use reduces fertility. While you're on them, they definitely reduce fertility, but there's no evidence long term if you stop use that you'll be infertile. Plenty of athletes conceive while they're on steroids. So there's no evidence that they actually affect fertility long term. Like I'm sure there's anecdotes where like some people might have that, but if you're looking at a population level, there's no evidence that they actually will make you unable to have children.
In this way? No, but some people, because of their abuse of steroids, they can't get people pregnant when they get older. And so if you do ever want to have kids, please be careful.
Generally speaking, 2 years of exogenous testosterone can spell the end of endogenous production and therefore a lifetime dependency.
And remember when Mike famously said, you know, if I ever stop taking testosterone, I'm sure that my testosterone will just go back to normal. And Peter Tia's like, well, how often do you take breaks, like during the last 13 years that you've been using it? Never.
How many weeks a year are you completely off any anabolic agent? 0. And how many years has that been? 13. I find it hard to believe you would continue to make testosterone.
Like, Mike actually thought that most people recovered no problem. Peter Tia, he knew better. And so if you're always on steroids, never taking breaks, please be careful, and careful what you wish for. You may never be able to get it back.
What else haven't we said about the risks of TRT?
I think there's another method of delivery using clomiphene and clomiphene.
And so my personal opinion is, especially if you're younger, you should try to use clomiphene first. If that can fix the problem, then why not?
Yeah. Take a more dangerous drug that is going to cause ocular degeneration and possibly make you go blind. That makes sense.
Not. I mean, you can always go from clomiphene to HRT later, and
or you could just go on HRT, which is a safer, more well-tolerated drug. So he's literally saying, take the more dangerous drug first, and if you don't notice any issues, well, just stay on the more dangerous drug, which is known to, over time, cause ocular degeneration, so that you can get gradually worsening eyesight and possibly develop blind spots in your vision.
So why not use clomiphene first?
And these are drugs.
It's a more dangerous drug. That's why. Like, why is he motivated to say this? Like, so again, this guy doesn't know fucking shit about the drug. Out of nowhere, he starts promoting clomiphene. Like, this is just, like, clearly some weird, cynical, money-making shit that has to do with the business he's involved in.
That have the advantage of preserving fertility. They work by inhibiting estrogen receptors in the hypothalamus that trick the brain into thinking you need more testosterone. So now the brain, via the pituitary, starts producing more follicle-stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone, and you end up increasing endogenous production.
No matter who you are, it's likely going to at least be able to double your testosterone. And so if you're at 300 nanograms per deciliter, likely can get it to 600 and or even more. I even have one client, he's at 1200 nanograms per deciliter. I swear, I'm not bullshitting you. You guys, if you don't believe me, whatever. He's got 1,200 nanograms per deciliter. I've gone over his blood work a number of times. This is 100% natural. He decided he wants to use clomiphene no matter what, prescribed by a doctor. And so, no big deal. I said, you know, you don't need this. You're already very, very high. And so what happened? He was well over 2,000 nanograms per deciliter. Now, I asked him, do you have any negative side effects? Because when you have higher levels of testosterone, you can get anxiety, you can get anger. Remember Mike Israetel?
Mike Israetel is on a variety of anabolic steroids, not just testosterone. And anxiety from testosterone is a very rare side effect. Same with aggression. Testosterone is not associated with aggression.
You feel his rage? He says, absolutely, I have all this. He's only on clomiphene, but yet he feels the effects of having higher testosterone. He's grinding his teeth. He's angry. He's wondering.
That's not a side effect of testosterone. It's probably the side effect of the serum. If you affect your estrogen concentrations or the effect of estrogen in your body, you're going to get side effects related to estrogen, not testosterone. Again, there's no association between testosterone and aggression. There's actually an association between estrogen and aggression and anxiety.
Why am I so upset while driving? And so when you have higher levels of testosterone, remember that it can, in fact, change you as a person. You can become more aggressive, more assertive. For some people, this is positive, but for others, it's negative. More difficult time sleeping. When your testosterone levels are too high, it can increase cortisol, and you're just simply amped up. Not perhaps like on caffeine, but you have more desire to work hard, to push yourself, but you cannot relax as much. These are some things that people don't talk about. And so you have to weigh the good with the bad. At my doses, I feel good. I mean, I always feel good. It's almost embarrassing for me to say when people ask me how I'm doing. I'm like, you know, my worst day, it's like your Christmas morning. It's like your wedding day. It's amazing. It feels good all the time. Not everyone has a life like that. I wish you had a life like mine. This is an amazing experience. But if your testosterone levels go too high and you get angry and aggressive and all you feel is rage, and when you read comments from guys from Bangladesh and it upsets you, it angers you, and you're just walking around.
Again, he's using Mike Isertel as an example, and he's not just on testosterone. He's on a cocktail of drugs.
Thinking, I dare you to say something. This is Mike Isertel's daily life. He's stated this. That's my daily life. Is it worth it? Do you really want that? The lowest dose that makes you happy. If said dose makes...
This is like fear-mongering about coffee making you, like, angry and amped up, and then using somebody who drinks coffee and smokes crystal meth as an example of coffee being dangerous. Oh, well, the guy who smokes crystal meth and drinks coffee, he's talking about being paranoid and angry and jittery all the time. So obviously coffee is dangerous.
Makes you angry, aggressive, irritable, cranky, not able to get a good night's sleep. Lower the doses. The lowest dose that makes you happy is the dose that makes you happy. It's a Gregism. That's the dose. Upper doses, when you keep pushing it up, you get more muscle.
The research on this is very clear. I linked this in the video response I made to Greg. There's a dose response with higher testosterone administration and more mood improvements. They've tested doses as high as 600 milligrams per week in men, and men report feeling better, improved mood on higher doses. So what he is saying is not supported by science.
But you get less happiness. And remember, bigger biceps, pecs, delts, and so on doesn't make more girls want to come talk to you. It's not going to happen. And so what you need to do is...
That has not been my experience.
Is be happy within yourself, in your own skin, to like how you feel, and you will at the lowest dose that makes you happy. And so if your current dose right now, which is 0, and you're not happy, you don't have the energy, the sex drive, the energy, being able to sleep, you have insomnia, whatever, that's not making you happy. And so contact AlgoRx. Decide after getting blood work, what dose can you take to make you happy, and choose the lowest. Does that make sense? I'm 10 years into TRT. Best decision ever. My doctor is old school, avoided TRT for a long time. He recently told me that since he started prescribing TRT to his patients, they all started to not need ED meds, anxiety meds, antidepressants, sleep aids, and they have better biomarkers, and the net result is he prescribes less drugs overall. Many people don't understand that if you use TRT, it can help prevent you from needing other drugs. TRT alone could have you not needing Cialis or Viagra, or perhaps you're depressed because your testosterone levels are too low. You take testosterone, it kills 2 birds with 1 stone. He told me he has had men and women shed tears to him saying TRT saved their marriage and changed their life. TRT is about quality of life, but you must monitor your blood work forever, which ultimately is beneficial to your health because you are paying attention and your doctor catches them immediately. And so, great comment. And so you can see TRT can be a savior to many people, but if you're taking it in abusive doses more than you need, it can be your demise.
An abusive dose for one person is going to be an efficacious dose for another person. So abusive dose would be defined as a dose where the benefit to negative ratio is not proportionate to your, to your particular interests.
Long-term use of clomiphene is probably not a good idea. The drug was never intended to be used long-term. It's a fertility drug.
And so one of the things within clomiphene is it's not intended for long-term use. It's for more of a temporary use, perhaps 3 or 4 months. And so this is a fertility drug. And so why not try enclomiphene first, see if that can remedy the problem, and perhaps you can stop. And if it does...
This is just fucking retarded. if you're going to stop taking the drug, then you're not going to get the benefit of the drug if you stop. So why wouldn't you just go on TRT?
Doesn't work, you can then move on to HRT. Now remember, if you're not at the level where you want in clomiphene or testosterone, you can of course use G-Test Platinum as well as Turk Builder Max.
Yes, two things that do absolutely nothing at all.
This does not increase your testosterone, but it does increase your ability to train harder than last time, to build more muscle, recover better, and just feel better. G-Test Platinum, if you have lower levels of testosterone, you can increase by 200 to 400 nanograms per deciliter. That can make a significant...
That's a cool story, Greg. That's a really cool story. I love hearing cool stories.
Difference. Remember, these have a money-back guarantee and a $20 gift card. And so if they don't meet or exceed your expectations, money-back guarantee and a $20 gift card, code Greg, 15% off. Subscribe, click the bell button.
Yeah, so this guy is a retarded, delusional liar who just promotes bullshit. It's really all you need to take away from that.
Theoretically, you could learn a bunch of cool shit.
Hello, I am Dr. Todd Lee. I'm a medical doctor, IFBB pro bodybuilder, and biochemist. I look like shit. And the reason why I look like shit is because I just had surgery. And now, this is what I'm gonna do to get healthy, to get over surgery faster. When I had gyno surgery, the surgeon didn't believe me when I told her I'd heal faster than a normal man. But then she was flabbergasted. She said I was like a bionic man. She couldn't believe how fast I healed. And this is what I do to heal. So first, I'm gonna disinfect the tops of these containers. It's not the alcohol that kills the bacteria.
What's your opinion? Personally, I think it is reasonable. I knew a 50 years old marrying a 20 years old and he was a lawyer. Slipping in a fresh 18 years old is molestation. What do you think?
No, they're an adult.
For the men, what would you think about the age of consent being raised to 25 instead of 18? Because 25 is when the brain fully forms.
That is an extremely misleading statement.
What are your thoughts on that?
What do we think? Well, we're all for it, but with a couple of misunderstandings. Because if you're going to make the argument that women are not mature enough to give consent until they're 25, then you're also going to have to agree that that should apply in other areas as well. For example, first off, if you're not adult enough to give consent until you're 25, then you'd also have to agree that the drinking and smoking age needs to be raised to 25 for women. Oh, and all those tattoos and septum piercings? Yeah, they're going to have to wait on them, too. And since you're not mature enough to give consent, you're also not mature enough to make decisions over your own health or body. Which means no more sex change operations or boob jobs until you're 25 either. Not to mention, if your brain isn't fully developed, then you shouldn't be allowed to enter into contracts until you're 25. So that means no loans, no mortgages, no rental agreements, no credit cards, and no...
Yeah, it's fucking retarded. Women like to act like they're irresponsible children unless it, you know, doesn't work for them, and then they want to act like they're adults. Thanks for the donation, though. Aoktulo.
Wait, you forgot about this.
They tortured lambs.
Oh, yeah, this
was in the West Bank. Israeli settlers were filmed torturing lambs which belonged to Palestinians in the West Bank. Gouged their eyes out, smashed them with cinder blocks. Farming. Gouged the eyes. They were just to be sustained. Just in more Jewish.
This person's voice is insanely annoying.
Settlement on Palestinian territory.
Yeah, okay, whatever. So Jews are evil because people who may be Jewish attacked a bunch of lambs. Okay, I guess black people are all evil because I've seen black people robbing banks and committing petty crimes. So obviously black people are all disgusting hoodlums who are all criminals because, well, I saw a rapper bragging about him killing a guy. Yeah, and Palestinians are not well known for treating animals well. They have that Muslim holiday where they slaughter animals. It's typical halal practice to just slice animals' throats open while they're fully conscious. That's just how they kill animals in Islam. They killed that fucking shark for no fucking reason. That was endangered. Like, this is fucking retarded. Like, if we're gonna have the standard that, oh, well, I saw a group of Jews attacking sheep, so Jews are evil. Okay, well, I saw Palestinians commit the October 7th massacre, so I guess Palestinians are evil. Oh, they're all bad. Fucking retarded. These people are just fucking scumbags. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Bacteria. It's the drying of the alcohol lyses the cell walls of the bacteria. Now, I'm going to explain each one as I do them, because if I do them in advance and do them second and do them third, it will confuse you. It will confuse you. So post-surgery, you want to have good collagen synthesis, right? Good collagen synthesis. So what do we do here? We have a few different agents, but we don't have all of the agents. I'm also going to bust out my trusty TB500. And then here's my BPC 157. So since I have open wounds, I know exactly where to inject this. I won't be doing the injection on video because that is against the community guidelines. All right, so pop off the lids, and you don't really have to disinfect them. Some people say you do. I'm not really a germaphobe. All right, so the ones that are made, the ones to be made. So we're gonna make the ones to be made first so they have time to properly dissolve. We're dealing with 5 milligrams of PPC, so we are going to add in 10 or 100.
I am so happy that Israel plans to bulldoze that worthless shithole down, and there is nothing those dumb Palestinians can do about it.
Yeah, they can cry about it, but that's about it. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
I use a backwater. Not complicated, right? Because we want nice round numbers so we can do easy mental math every morning when we're exhausted and only half awake. So put this together against the glass, hold it there, release, it's vacuum sealed, so we're gonna have to plug some air into there.
Soul Child donators, he's speaking.
We will hold bad landlords to account because the Donald Trumps of our city have grown far too comfortable taking advantage of their tenants. We will put an end to the culture of corruption that has allowed billionaires like Trump to evade taxation and exploit tax breaks.
Yeah, they're just gonna leave.
We will stand alongside unions and expand labor protections because we know, just as Donald Trump does, that when working people have ironclad rights, the bosses who seek to extort them become very small indeed.
Yeah, so everyone's just gonna be more broke and poor and crime's gonna increase. Thanks for the donation.
So that it isn't vacuum sealed, so that when you go to draw up, it's not a problem. And as you can see, it's not vacuumed. It sucked it all in. All right, we're good there. Next one, also a powder. We're gonna take up some water here. I love water. Water loves me. Take it up to 10. I know I'm wearing a goofy ass shirt. It's just for surgery, you can't have pullovers. So, you have TB500, one of my favorites. Okay, and we're gonna talk about this in a little bit. And what was the goal again for this? You're talking about pain? I don't remember what the goal even was for this video. Kai, do you remember what the goal for this video was?
I wanted to talk about what drugs you were going to use to bounce back from the surgery as quickly as possible.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Good. Makes sense. Okay, so first, what was my normal HRT protocol? So a lot of doctors are going to want you to pull your drugs because they're going to say those drugs affect your PT, PTT, and other clotting factors. Now, what these mental midgets haven't figured out is if your blood was drawn on those drugs at those doses and they get that you have good clotting times, then to change that by taking you off the drugs would then change the clotting times and make their job harder. They're just not smart. So my HRT dose, which is extremely low for me, is test sip at 300. This is yielding only 660 testosterone and a 37 IGF-1. So I could easily be running double this and still be in a very safe zone. My estrogen is only a 6 on this, which is pretty much too low. But that's because I'm running 15 EQ. This is 30 test sip. Now we are going to be using water labeled as EQ. It's not real EQ because real EQ is illegal. And then we're going to take 5 of the EQs, so it's 15. So that right there, 20 on the insulin syringe is 30 test and 15 EQ. And in my body, it's only yielding 660 total test, 37 DHT, 6 estradiol, and with my 6 units of GH, a 293 IGF-1. And you're like, but Todd, how could you have a 293 IGF-1 from only a 6 estradiol? And the answer is the ment. Right now I'm running a fair amount of ment, and this leads me to believe that the ment, the estrogenic effects of ment, isn't just bad. That the estrogenic effects of ment is, let's see here, 10, 15, 20, right? 5. So that was 15, that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, that's right. So the ment converts to a version of estrogen that doesn't show up on tests, but if it's driving up IGF-1, then it means that the only real reason to use testosterone at that point is a DHT precursor, since the ment can provide the estrogen precursor. Now from here...
Did he just get out of surgery? He seems very out of it.
What was the question again? The original question for this video?
What drugs are going to use to bounce back from surgery?
From surgery. Okay, so this is the basic anabolic amount. This is going to help prevent me from losing muscle while I'm not lifting. Now, to have collagen synthesis occur, the collagen synthesis is represented by the anavar, the testosterone, the GH, and the GHKCU. So right here, we've got the GHKCU. I believe this is, and I might be wrong, but I believe this is a little bit more collagen type 2, which is also known as elastin. All right, we've got to take care of that. Then we have somatostatin, and this is with TB500. So we want somatostatin number 2 because that's super critical. We know that it drives up collagen type 1, and we believe it also drives.
You know, if he's loading this all into one insulin syringe, poking it through that many vials, the needle would have to be so fucking dull.
Up collagen type 2, but not to the same extent. The worst thing you could do is run anabolic steroids, which drives up collagen type 1, but not drive up the GH and the GHKCU, which drives up collagen type 2, because what you'll get is super brittle tendons, and you get stronger until they snap. All right, and then TB500 does a whole bunch of things, anti-inflammatory, and increased vascularization of the area.
Oh, it looks like he got more hair transplant. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
The cool thing about the TB500 is it doesn't have to be local. You can shoot it anywhere. It's just great. And Last but not least, the BP500. I don't particularly like this one as much as the others because you have to inject it directly into the tissue that's injured, and that's very painful, especially immediately pre-op, and that's when this matters the most. So I've got a full loadout. A lot of people are like, oh, your peptides aren't going to work because you mixed them together. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know if you can see this. There's no cloudiness. There's no protein denaturation. This is all serous. It's all rip-roaring ready to go. It's pristine clean. It looks amazing. It could be a diamond for a countess. That's how perfect this looks. Now, I'm not going to inject this, but if I was going to inject it, what I would do is this.
All right. Well, he seems like he's enjoying his post-surgery drugs. That's nice. Kid Boot on $8 is white boy making a valid point here.
Actually depressed, or do you just live under capitalism? See, people are depressed because they're never going to own a home. They're anxious because they don't know how they're going to pay rent this month. They're isolated because they've been brainwashed into cutting everyone else out of their life unless they're helping them make money. Capitalism deliberately creates financial insecurity, keeping you in constant fear of losing your job and not being able to afford to live.
Yeah, talk to anybody who's lived under communism and they had way worse financial problems. Can guarantee you.
Profit-driven systems create poor working environments by prioritizing profit over workers' well-being. Long hours, shit pay, and no work.
Oh, long hours, shit pay. Sounds like communism to me.
Work-life balance. It promotes a culture of individualism and competition, leaving you lonely, isolated, and longing for connection, which is essential for human well-being. Even your health is commoditized.
Dude, these people are out of their fucking mind. Like, just no fucking clue. Talk to anybody who lived under communism. They had those problems 10x'd. Fucking retarded. No, he is not making a point. Thanks for the donation, Kid Boo. What a dumbass. Yeah, we'll play Kronos. I just gotta go wee-wee. I gotta tinkle. I will tinkle and then we'll play some Kronos. I don't know how close to the end of the game we are. It seems like there's still a fair bit. But I'm gonna go pee-pee. I'll be right back. Oh, hey, Gum Gum. How you doing, little baby? Hey, Gum Gum. Hey, Gum Gum. Oh, what's wrong, Gum Gum? Oh, you want to come cuddle, Gum Gum? Gum Gum, you want to cuddle? Alright. No, Isaac was using the bathroom. It wasn't really a long piss. Alright. Kronos, the New Dawn. Smart registered trademark and donate $2. How do you explain all this? AI? That's a big butt. I don't know, surgery. Yeah, that looks like more surgery. It's like a silicone filler. That is definitely more filler. Thanks for the donation, dude. No, I don't take a BCA supplement. Oh.
Doctor? Dr. Zibbert?
Zibbert.
Where are you?
What happened? Where is everybody?
You were Angela. But how?
It's you. You were in the shelter. Oh, God. Edward. What happened to him?
Isaac has some of his own lifting equipment downstairs, but, you know, he can use my machines and stuff.
He's gone.
Gone? Gone where? What's happening to me?
I don't know. What's the last thing you remember?
I ran out of the shelter. I was looking for my mom. I went to the hospital, but I couldn't find her. I got sick. I got sick badly. Didn't find her. But I did find a doctor. He, I was looking for the cure. I did my best. No, that wasn't me. Whose are all these thoughts?
Angela. I need you to reach out within your mind and remember something. A memory that wasn't supposed to be yours.
A lot of things shouldn't have happened. So many things I should have done. So many I shouldn't. Always trying to be selfless. Always the fucking consequences!
Angela, I know, but I think you possess the memories of a man called Dr. David Sibbert.
Dr. David Sibbert. Oh yeah. He's in here. With us.
I need to talk to him.
I really wanted to help him. I promised I would find it. That I would find the cure.
David, you need to tell me what you've done with the other traveler.
The visitor. The visitor?
You need to tell me how to find him.
They were onto us. He was not safe with me. I had to hide him away. Keep him secret. Keep him safe. Was I wrong? An execution order was given. Kill them all! Healthy or sick. Patients or doctors. It didn't matter to them! Angela. Gabriel. All of them.
John Zook,
tried to save
50
as many
milligrams
patients
of
as I
edibles
could.
twice a day is insane.
But I was the one who took
I took 30
I
and
was the one who drew
was
the military
out
to
of
the
my
hospital.
fucking mind.
So did I kill those people?
You were doing your best to save him.
I shouldn't have. I never should have risked taking him out from the steelworks. I remember. I had a daughter once. Oh, a beautiful little girl. I wonder what happened to her.
Angela, there's no time. Debbie, tell me where he is.
She has a different father now.
Debbie, please. Where?
And Lisa. In
in the Abbey on the outskirts. It was the only place they wouldn't have looked in. I needed to trust her. I needed her help. My little girl. My daughter. Find her.
I will. But I have one more question. Tell me, what exactly happened in the steelworks?
We let everything slip out of our hands. We failed. As doctors. As humans.
Did we bring the thickness to
Why do I get cramps from calf raises? I stretch before the calf
It was
raises.
always here.
You're probably not taking in enough electrolytes. Stretching doesn't prevent cramping.
Okay again?
I'll try.
Calves and abdominal muscles are particularly prone to cramping. So if you notice that you're getting cramps in your calves or abdomen, you're probably low on electrolytes.
Calculating coordinates for the next extraction.
Does psilocybin feel like a huge THC dose?
Elisa.
When you're taking it in an edible form, it's sort of similar. The big difference, though, is with psilocybin, it's, you get a lot more, like, weird visuals and, like, a strange introspective experience where, you kind of have a more out-of-body experience, where with psilocybin, it's much more in-body. But it is sort of comparable with a large edible THC dose. But it's not, like, introspective, and it feels like you're very much in your own body. Do you like the game story? Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I like how things are kind of pieced together little by little.
I'm back.
Good. Did you get the information we were looking for?
It's possible that the Pathfinder's last known location was an abbey on the outskirts of the city. Sector A25. The doctor entrusted him to his daughter, Elisa. She is my next target.
Interesting. The outskirts. Let me see. You'll have to use a different tram. There. This should open the other station.
Yeah, Dead Space 3 sucks. Dead Space 1 Remake was great.
What about you?
Also, Dead Space 2 is really good.
Have you found anything?
I think the Dead Space 1 Remake was better, though.
I made a truly fascinating discovery.
Let's hear it.
It appears this lost lamb of ours is not just a mere traveler. You see, to be assigned to the role of a Pathfinder is to serve as the vanguard among all those awakened to fulfill the collective's calling. It was up to them to create new rifts for those like you. Those who drive their anchor into the ground and tune it into them. But the Pathfinders didn't use such trivial tools themselves. Oh no. With their great relics, they were more powerful, unique, priceless.
Independent.
Indeed, one might say. If we could harness even a little piece of that power, with his help, we could rebuild everything, even ourselves.
What about the terminal?
Yes, we would be able to connect to it and upload the essences that are haunting you. We could save you, make you free, and more. Doesn't that sound wonderful to you, traveler?
When we finally find him, are you sure he'll be on our side?
Where does this question come from?
I met his target. He refused to extract her.
Someone like a Pathfinder can't just act on a whim. His actions must have been more deliberate and purposeful than we think. Maybe he knew something that we are yet to understand.
Or maybe he was simply affected by them. Like you.
To be a good traveler is to obey the principles of the vocation. But if, in devoting ourselves to it, we focus more on obeying the collective's...
Sengoku to Nutellers, hope New York gets 100% of what it voted for. Also, I think Berserk should be mandatory in schools. Yeah, well, knowing Mamdani being a lying fucking jihadist whack job retard, they probably will. And yeah, Berserk should be mandatory reading in school. It never will be because the school system's cucked and retarded and they want you to read bullshit. But if they were serious and had any interest in kids actually learning anything, they would have Berserk be mandatory reading in school. Thanks for the donation though, Sengoku. Appreciate it.
Commandments than truly helping them. Maybe some rules need to be bent. Maybe we need to listen to the voice of those we want to save. Such is
Dick Cheney died today? Huh. Maybe Mamdani getting elected was too much for him.
This will give us all a chance for a fresh start. You need to trust me. Can you?
I trust you.
What books did you read in school? Well, I had some good ones like To Kill a Mockingbird. A lot of trash, though. Worst book I read in school had to have been, can't even remember what it was called. I think it was like C4 something. It was about a rogue computer system that took over a city. It was just horrendous. There's some other dumb bitch one too. Am I doing it wrong? What? Am I missing something here? Do I have to stand closer? Oh. Wait. What? What? Yeah. Is this a glitch? Still won't let you fully upgrade the thing. Weird. These are the cats we found. Hey, cat.
Troubled by so many questions.
That's a cat. What's this? Oh. That was not explained well.
Procedure.
Yeah, that was not explained well at all. Okay, then. Oh, there's monsters down here. Big bad spookies.
It doesn't work.
So much spookies. Oh my god. Okay, have played Fallout 4. I got fairly far into the game, and then I suffered from I don't know where the fuck to go itis, and then I quit playing. There's another place that we need to go to. I'm confused where to go exactly. This is why a map would be helpful again. So we're going up here. In the game are so stupid. Have you gotten really scared by a game? Well, when I was a kid, I guess probably Resident Evil Remake scared me. I haven't really been scared by a game in quite a while, though. Oh, we have to press the button now, right? How do these things keep popping up? Oh, I don't have to press the thing. Okay. So what the fuck? Oh, there's another one? Oh my god. Why are there so many steps to this? Oh, hey, Gum Gum. Catch my Gum Gum.
Where is he?
Okay. Where's Cat? Oh, where's the cat?
Oh, God, piss. Oh, still can't upgrade. Okay. I just have to go piss again. I'll be right back. Ugh. I had to do a big wee-wee.
Yum gum dim sum 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 yum gum dim sum.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Thanks for the donation, Nunwib.
I must receive that cat. I must access this cat. How do I access the cat?
Thing. Oh, we're already in here. Nah, I haven't played Subnautica.
It is not working. I am not alone.
Where am I connecting this? Oh, there. Yeah, Mike Israel still doesn't have a pro card. some.
Where do I get to that cat I saw? I can't remember. How do I power that?
Where's the cat?
Leave.
Pet the cat.
It's highly perilous. Even for you. We will soon need a bigger cat room.
Okay, I think that'll be enough for tonight. It's late. I want to get some sleep. But hope you all had fun. Big thanks to everybody who donated on Streamlabs. Really appreciate it. I don't have to train tomorrow, so I should be on earlier, so I'll see you all then. And sweet dreams. Nighty-night.